This week, we're talking all about life in the Lehigh Valley with Board Vice Chair Joe Berrios and our special guest from WFMZ en Español, Leslie Lopez. Get ready for some March Madness with a new episode of Somos coming up right now.
This is your Lehigh Valley, where your success reaches new heights. Excellence isn't achieved by chance. Success requires vision, commitment, flexibility. Change brings opportunity. The opportunity to think and work different, better. This space offers solutions and resources you'll love, with a world-class vibe that's close to home. There's nothing ordinary about this space. Here is where you'll achieve the extraordinary. This is your Lehigh Valley. This is your VentureX.
Wepa, we did it.
Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to Somos Lehigh Valley. Do not adjust the audio on your phone / computer. We are speaking in English. Welcome to season 3. We're excited about starting this new season here in beautiful South Bethlehem. Thank you to VentureX, who is our presenting partner this season. Terry and his whole team have really, this is a beautiful space, isn't this, guys?
Oh my goodness, this space is amazing. First off, like when you walk in, it just pops.
Yeah.
It pops. It feels different.
Yeah,
It just hits different.
Absolutely.
Definitely does.
Yeah.
I walked in and I was like, "This is a movie."
Yeah, you're like she's like taking like photos and selfies and all that stuff.
Full disclosure, we're like, yeah, it's a movie. You're special.
Yeah. Well, let's get it kicked off here formally. Excited this season that we're able to bring some more folks in, and I think even expanding our audience is going to be awesome. There's a lot of folks who listened to the first couple of seasons, struggled to get through it because it was in Spanish, but we moved over to English because we want to include more people. We want to include more guests. We want to have a chance to reach more people. So I'm excited this morning that we've got a couple of folks on that haven't been on the podcast before. First of all, Joe Berrios, who is the vice chair. Let me see if I find out. No, that's the wrong sound. I'm still learning the sounds here.
That's it.
There you go.
That's it. I like the sound before.
There we go. Which one? This one right here?
Yeah.
I
very
go cryptic.
spooky.
Yeah.
He's very spooky.
Yeah. So Joe, for those who don't know you, why don't you tell folks a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So Joseph Berrios, born and raised in the Lehigh Valley, primarily in the south side of Bethlehem. For the past several years, I've been a creative director and marketing director of an agency called Get Milk Creative. Fun fact, when VentureX was launching, we did their marketing campaign. And over the last about 18 months, my wife and I have founded a faith-based organization called Praise Pop-Up. So just constantly trying to make new waves in the Lehigh Valley. Was formerly voted vice chair of the
man. He's on the squad. No, I'm still learning these sounds, man. It's like I'm gonna learn it. You know what it is? I have one of these at home, and the sounds are laid up totally different. So I'm still learning this. So
once you learn it, I'll change it.
Yeah,
because it's better. It's better.
Oh my gosh, man! Don't do that to me.
Yes,
like, I hate it when people change things around after I learn them. Yeah. So welcome aboard, Joe. Glad to have, and you'll be seeing Joe on a regular basis on the podcast here as we bring guests in and out. He'll have a regular spot, but we've also got Leslie with us. Okay, yeah, I got it. First time. There we go. Leslie, tell people a little bit about, I know there's some folks who may recognize the face because she has been on TV, but tell people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. I'm Leslie Lopez. I was born in New Mexico, but I was basically raised here in the Lehigh Valley.
Was that Albuquerque?
No, in Las Cruces.
Okay.
Down south.
All right.
Yeah. Near the border. Yeah, I still love it. I still think it's my home. I love it there, but the Lehigh Valley is definitely my home for the long run because I've been here since I was 5 years old, still here. I don't think I'm leaving anywhere. I work at 69 News Spanish edition.
Nice. Shout out to Perla and the whole team.
That's
Yeah,
it.
shout out to them. Love them. They're all amazing. They're all great. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
So I'm glad that you mentioned that you work at 69 News. Like, what is it true? Does the team really get together? Do they really get along as much as it seems like they get along, or do you have like some dirt? Or
Tell us.
got a scoop.
Tell us.
Scoop.
No, the Spanish team, we really all do get along. I really do love all of them. Of course, we do get annoyed with each other at times, but, you know, family gets annoyed with each other.
All right, we'll
That's
get the
normal.
good stories when we're off the air.
That's normal.
Yeah, so this is, you know, I'm glad that you're able to join us, Leslie, and hopefully we'll have her as a regular contributor, you know, just whenever your time allows, because we know you're a busy person, you know. But you know, as we start this episode, one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about, and we were talking about it earlier, is, you know, the Lehigh Valley really has become this place where people don't want to just work Monday through Friday and go party somewhere else. They actually want to spend time here. I think I had shared that when I first moved here, and I think this is a story for a lot of people who moved to the Lehigh Valley. I would work Monday to Friday, and then as soon as Friday 5 o'clock hit, getting on 78, going to New York, because that's where we're going to spend the weekend, because that's where all the good stuff is happening.
York.
Yeah, Brooklyn, shout out Brooklyn. But I feel that nowadays people really want to spend more time here. So what is it about the Lehigh Valley that makes people want to be here, Leslie?
Yeah. I think there's just so many different backgrounds and so many different people here that, you know, no one feels excluded exactly. There's so many events happening all the time. Like, for example, I went to an event. It's called Winter Replay.
Okay.
And these two Latina girls, they are the founders of it, and they bring a bunch of businesses together. They, you know, have this event, and people are there with their tables talking to people. There's people selling art. There's people selling clothing, jewelry, tattooing people, piercings. Like, it's bringing the whole community together. And of course, those, you know, that's more for like you know, reaching young people, but I feel like there's a bunch of other things in Lehigh Valley too that reach all different ages, even kids, adults. So yeah, there's just a bunch of events happening.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, Joe.
For people listening in, if you want AJ to go to the Winterfest and get his face tattooed, leave a comment.
That is not going to happen.
Hit him with the spooky sound. Hit him with the spooky
Where's
sound.
the spooky? There it is.
There it is.
See, I'm learning the board. I'm
That's
learning
good.
the board, man.
And shout out to my friend Elizabeth Ferrer.
Yes.
She had a table there. Her art is amazing. Love her.
Yeah.
I know she'll be watching later.
That's it.
So, Joe, do you have a favorite event here? I mean, you're a lifelong Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, but I've been around.
I don't know what you even call yourself, a Lehigh Valleyan.
So what's interesting, right? Born and raised here. I've done business all across the country, but there's people who till this day like think I'm from California or New York. Like every time my wife and I walk into a room, they're like, yeah, they're from New York.
Why
or
is
from
that?
I don't know. Some of the people I'm like, you know, we went to like first grade together, right? Like, I'm from here, but they're still like, yeah, they're not from here. And I believe it's just the eclectic palette that we bring to the table. But when I think about the Lehigh Valley and the events that it has to offer, it's really contingent upon season, right? There's so many different things you can do, and it really is based on your palette as an individual, right? There's these really grand festivals that we offer every year in the Lehigh Valley. But then there's these microcosms that exist as well, where if you just want to do something small with your family, this is accessible to you on the weekend too. And when I think of the Lehigh Valley compared to anywhere that I've ever done business, is what it offers is just enough of a metropolitan feel, while at the same time having the same feeling of a small town. Right, so it's like if the Hallmark Channel found a little pocket in Brooklyn.
Yep. Well, not all of Brooklyn, like Williamsburg.
Yeah, Williamsburg.
There you go.
Yeah, specifically 2010 late Williamsburg. But
when people were still buying up warehouses and turning
Yes.
them into like apartment buildings.
But it offers this identity where you could be here and want to hustle and bustle and do things and go places, but at the same time, you can have a family and feel safe and have that calm. So it's that balance that I think the Lehigh Valley offers. That is why people are coming, they're migrating here, and they're staying here.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah.
So you've studied at Temple, right?
Yeah.
So were you living at Temple when you went to school there?
Yeah, I went to Temple for 2 years, my last 2 years of college, and I loved Philly. I did. It was super great. There was a lot of things to do, but I feel like it's just a whole different environment. Like, I wouldn't move to Philly. I definitely am going to
Although the
stay
food
here.
is kind of dope.
Yeah,
in Philly.
yeah.
I mean, as long as you don't go to like Geno's and Pat's for cheesesteaks, because that's like when you're a tourist, that's where you go. So
Yeah, no, you
so
go
where
to-
do you go? Like when you live in Philly, where do you go for a good cheesesteak?
I would go to the corner stores, like the bodegas.
Really?
Yes.
They
Yeah.
had the best.
The Dominican
sandwiches.
bodegas,
Fire.
right?
Yes.
Oh my
Dominicans with Philly cheesesteak?
Yo, they're,
Yes, and
bro,
they were so good.
Yeah.
So good.
they call them the
Way
poppy
better.
shops.
Road trip.
Right, like when you're in
Let's
West
go.
Philly, it's a different demographic, so they call them the poppy shops. And on the corner of like 53rd, it's
Hey, we could be done with this podcast in 20 minutes and be on the road and go get some cheesesteaks.
But the question is, how long would it take to get to Philly? I have a family member who says they were going to go to Temple, and they lived very much in Bethlehem, and they said they can get to Philly, get parked, and get to class in 45 minutes.
That's a lie. That is a lie.
No.
You hit the Conshohocken curve, man, and it's like once you hit the Conshohocken curve, you know you have at least another hour.
Yeah.
With how traffic gets backed up.
Yes.
So I just don't know how people with the commute, but I guess speaking to Lehigh Valley, it's like you can get all of those things without the headache of the traffic, without
Correct.
having to go all over the place, and you still have really cool events going on.
Yes.
And speaking of events, our Hispanic Chamber is organizing our calendar for the spring. We've got some really cool things going on. One of the advantages of having Joe here is Joe is really involved with our marketing, so he knows a lot of the stuff that's going on. So, Joe, why don't you give some teasers of like some of the stuff that we're working on, just so people have an idea
Yeah.
of some of the events that are coming?
Absolutely. So this, first and foremost, we have Somos Latinas, which is something that has kicked off this year and has been extremely successful.
We got to get Leslie out there.
Yes, and it's such an awesome event for people to gather, specifically women, to empower and equip each other, and to just be accessible and available to each other, which has been really great. In the spring, we're going to have our Taco Fest.
Yeah,
Right there.
right there,
Right there in
Taco Fest.
Allentown.
Who doesn't love tacos?
I mean, who doesn't love
Man,
tacos?
there's something wrong with you if you don't love tacos.
And in the Taco Fest, we're going to start a new initiative, which is pickleball training, the fastest growing sport, they say.
Have
in
you
the
played
past-
pickleball? No, not at all. Do you
know
know
what
what
it
it is?
No.
What?
Come on.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing.
It's a bad name.
We're
for
gonna
an
have
awesome
to
game.
we're gonna have to connect with Leslie and have her do like a feature on the news.
Yes.
Of her trying pickleball like that. That'll be the Emmy
Let's do
Award
it.
winning segment that you do this year. Is Leslie trying pickleball
You
at
should-
Taco Fest?
I
You
need
should
an
do it.
explanation though. Like, what's pickleball?
All right, so-
So pickleball is like you know what table tennis is, right? Ping pong.
yeah.
And you know what tennis is. So pickleball is like miniature tennis, or it's like oversized ping pong. So you're on what looks like a tennis court, but you're using a paddle that looks kind of like a table tennis paddle, and the ball you use is like a wiffle ball. So it's a fun game, and we thought as the Hispanic Chamber that this would be an opportunity to be ahead of the curve on something that is trending in an upward trajectory, and to have opportunity to have fun with our community. I believe one thing that we're really focused on this year is, while at the same time connecting businesses, understanding that all of these small, mid-size, and even large organizations, they need to find that work-life balance.
Yeah.
And we've been finding ways to bring that into all of our events so that people don't feel like they're leaving work to go to work, but they're leaving work to go to something they enjoy.
So when is that happening, Joe?
That's what is our date for that? Is that May?
I think it's in May.
May. What's the May?
We'll get back to folks on the dates. So here, this is a live show right here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we're getting the information but what I was thinking is like, okay, so we have until May. We can't let Leslie show up and look bad.
Yeah, I
so
need to practice.
so we're committing right now. We're gonna find a day to take you down to a pickleball court and and give you the basics of pickleball.
Okay.
And maybe you could share that out so that, to get people more excited about the event. But I think it'll be a cool opportunity not just to introduce people to a new sport that's really catching on, but also, hey, we have amazing food vendors that come down for that. So there's taco trucks, there's vendors of all kinds with, merch and, beverages and things like that. So it'll be a cool time. And we do it right downtown Allentown, like on Hamilton.
Okay,
so
that's nice.
Yeah. And hopefully the weather will be nice by May, so I know that's one of the things that people always worry about is like, is it going to be warm enough? So what's the date, Joe?
May 18th in downtown Allentown. I didn't want to butcher it. So May 18th, downtown Allentown is when we have our Taco Fest. And then we're working on other events, right? So our gala is what we'll have in the fall. And in between Taco Fest and the gala, which are really large events, we'll also have different smaller events. So we'll have the Business Expo as well. We'll be celebrating smaller events where we like to call them Somos Familia, where we'll gather with our business partners and network, but bring our family to these events as well, which we're planning out. And yeah, we're really excited for everything that we're doing in this year of 2024.
So Leslie, when you hear the word familia, what does that mean to you?
Food, music, and fun.
Yeah,
that's good.
I think, and that's why I think it resonates with so many people. That it's it's really around those things. Like at all of events, we usually have food.
Yep.
We have fun.
Yep.
And there's a family atmosphere.
Yes.
Which is, I think, again, going back to our initial discussion, that's really what keeps people here. Is like when you have this sense of like you feel like you fit in, you feel like you belong. All of a sudden, people don't feel a need to go anywhere else because they feel like they're getting what they need.
Yes. And it's so monumental during this time of everything, right? Like the season that we exited for the last couple of years, we won't use the word of what it was, but people are really looking for a community and a place of belonging after being isolated for so long. And this is a really great area to congregate and just be around like-minded people, be around people who love what they do and love where they are. What my daughter loves about the Lehigh Valley is we have all the seasons without the really bad weather, right? Because we're in the middle of a valley. Not like New Mexico, but...
Hey.
Why are you hating on New Mexico, man? It's like...
You have to go. Have you ever gone?
I've never. I didn't. Even, I thought New Mexico was just a place.
So here you are judging New Mexico without even going there, man. It's
don't
like,
even. The first thing you said was Albuquerque. That's not the only place.
Because my nephew lived in Albuquerque, so I mean that's when I think about New Mexico, I think about Albuquerque.
I'm just joking.
I've never even been there.
No.
No.
The balloon festival I heard is like the bomb. Like like if you like hot air balloons, like they have like this festival they do in Albuquerque.
I thought you were playing a pun there. You should have said it's popping.
Oh
wow!
Oh wow! Wow! That's borderline dad joke right there.
Wow!
Yeah.
Borderline dad joke. Hey, Leslie, I wanted to pick your brain on something because like we said before, like you've been covering the news, right? So you've been out there, you've been getting to know people in the community, you've been doing feature stories on people and events and things like that. To you, as you get out and you talk to people, what's the commonality that you see like with people who live here? Like what is it that they enjoy about living here, just from your experience?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the people I interview and I get to connect with and talk to, a lot of them are already, united within each other. Like a lot of them know each other already, and I feel like they all work and help each other to be able to communicate with the Lehigh Valley. Like, yeah, I interview them one-on-one, but a lot of them already know each other and are like already a community.
That is true. There's a lot of families, especially here in Bethlehem. I find that there's like a lot of families that have been here for generations.
Yes.
We
have a board member. His name is Michael Cologne, and he's literally related to everybody in Bethlehem.
Really? Like he's done like the what do they call that? The 21andMe.
Yeah, there's 21 people that he's related to.
I can't even reach for the button.
Yeah, all he says is how everybody's his cousin. So
that's scary.
It is. He can't go anywhere without people.
You can't hide, man. It's like you gotta live right at that point because there's always somebody around the corner that knows you.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, right? That was even the intent behind that. But that segues into another part of the Lehigh Valley. I believe it's just there's this level of accountability that's just held there because people know everybody, right? So there's an opportunity to support people when they're going through certain seasons. Like we've watched a lot of businesses not have to struggle through 2020 to 2022 because the community came around them. Yeah. I recall specifically I was behind this initiative with the Bayou, and they created these shirts called Stronger Together, which my agency was the creation of it. But what they did was they partnered with all of the restaurants in the Lehigh Valley and placed all of the restaurants on the back of these shirts. And as people were buying them, they were able to get discounts at the restaurants to make sure that they support everything that was going in the Lehigh Valley. And at the same time, they were distributing these funds to help bless these businesses. So it's just knowing that it's a community where people know each other. It brings that level of accountability, but it also brings a responsibility to support each other, which is amazing.
I'm glad that you mentioned community and helping each other, because I think that one of the stories that hadn't been told is during the pandemic, the chamber actually came in and helped a lot of businesses that were struggling. Obviously, there was money that came in from the government, but there was a window of time there between when businesses shut down and help started coming in, where the chamber actually came in and really provided funds for some of these businesses to stay open. So as a partner in the community, the chamber is constantly looking for those opportunities to help businesses that are struggling, to help businesses grow, get to the next level. And again, it always goes back to this sense of, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
We're all in this helping each other out, which is that whole family bond that we talk about so much.
So amazing. So while we sit on the topic of family, Leslie, let's ask a question. You said when you think of family, you think of fun and you think of food. Let's just take a moment. Favorite food?
Enchiladas.
Okay. What do you put on them?
I like enchiladas de mole, and then they have chicken inside with cheese and sour cream, cheese, tomato.
Ooh.
All right. So now let's
wait. I have a follow up to that.
Let's dig for a second. Who makes them the best?
My grandma made the best enchiladas. Rest in peace. She made the best enchiladas ever.
So no knock on your mom.
I know. I'm sorry, Mom. Second.
You know something about grandmothers, though? Let me tell you something about grandmothers. Shout out to all the grandmothers. But grandmothers hold those recipes close to the chest.
Yes.
Right? Because there's sometimes where the kids want to have the recipe because they want to do it themselves. And the grandmothers will not give up those recipes will go to the grave with them. So it's almost like you have to grab that food and kind of try to reverse engineer it yourself and try to figure out what they did, because they're not going to give up the recipe.
Yes.
You have to literally watch them in the kitchen do it and try to recreate it. Because the one thing about a lot of my family members, my mom too, they don't write recipes.
Mm-hmm. It's all up here. It's all up there.
It's all up there.
And it's all taste. It's like, it needs a little bit more avocado. Like whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like pancake mix.
So follow-up question to because you said enchiladas. Mm-hmm. Right. So what I hear all the time is that Mexican food on the East Coast tastes nothing like Mexican food out in the West Coast or in the Southwest. Have you found a spot in the Lehigh Valley where the Mexican food tastes like New Mexico?
Where is it?
Give it up.
La Lupita on Southside.
Woo.
Their enchiladas de mole, they're so good.
It's like Southwestern style?
Yes.
Serious?
Yes. And the people there, they're from Puebla, though. So it's more down south in Mexico. So Puebla's known for mole.
Okay.
And their mole is so good.
So good. And they're such a fantastic business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like their organization is so good.
They're not too far from here, too. I mean, we can walk around.
Couple blocks. Yeah. It is morning while we're filming this, full disclosure, but I could eat dinner at breakfast.
Hey, listen, Lupita, if you want to sponsor the podcast and just bring us some lunch, we'll gladly take it.
Full disclosure, they are not sponsoring us right now.
Yeah. So this is a free mention.
This is a free mention.
I'll tell you another free mention is shout out to our friends from the Te Lo Juro Collective. They got us these cool mugs here that say Sabrosito on it. This is the kind of mug you want to have on a Saturday morning, have your coffee. They've also got a great line of merch. They got T-shirts, hats, stuff like that. Te Lo Juro Collective on Instagram. Go check them out. They got some really cool stuff.
I have stickers for my Hydro Flask.
Nice. Which is your favorite sticker?
I have one that says "Te lo juro," and then I have one the Zodiac guy.
The Zodiac guy.
What was his name?
Oh my gosh! You did not just say that. You did not just say that. Oh my gosh!
Wait.
Do you know who she's talking about?
I have no idea.
I know who she's talking about. I just want to. You're a reporter. You figure it out.
Wait. I know. No, I forgot.
Oh my gosh!
I'm blinking.
She is talking about Walter Mercado.
Yeah, Walter.
What?
Mr. Mercado.
What do you mean? Like you don't know who the Zodiac guy?
No,
like
I did know, but I forgot.
Listen.
I blinked.
Listen. Don't walk out on the street and say you didn't know who the Zodiac guy was.
That's it. That's
the
it.
Zodiac guy. Like, Walter Mercado is like a legend, man.
I know.
There's
I
a whole
used to watch him.
You need to go there. There's a documentary they did on Netflix. It's
I
called.
watched it.
And how do you not know his name then?
No, I blinked. Like there's cameras, like there's mics. Like I blinked, but I watched it.
Coming from someone who's
it
in front
was
of
on the
camera.
media. Someone who's on the news every day. I blanked in front of the camera.
He turned the
I've
cameras
done
on.
that before live. Like
No.
All
I
right.
blinked.
So
Let's go.
what's your worst?
Go
What's your
for it.
worst story?
I was just talking. I think it was about a shooting or a fire. I'm not really sure what, but I was
A
just
shooting or a fire?
Yeah.
You know,
Not sure which one.
Same thing.
something. And then I was just talking, and then I just forgot like what the next word was, because like sometimes like I tend to like, because I write the intros in my tags, and I tend to try to memorize that, and you're not supposed. They tell you not to memorize it, because if you memorize it and you forget the next word, like
It all comes crashing down. Oh yeah.
crash.
Let me start all over.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I was like, and then I
It
just
froze
had to make
like
something up.
a deer in headlights.
Yeah.
Literally. Man, so that's the worst feeling. Like
The worst feeling.
I remember having to go on deployments and do live hits, for the Red Cross, and that's the worst. That's like somebody's asking you something. No, the worst thing is when they ask you an unexpected question. Like
Yeah.
that's the worst. It's like I remember one time I got asked like, there's people stuck in the roof. Like, what do you tell these people who are stuck up in the roof now? Like, what do you say? And I'm looking through my talking points, because they give you talking points. I'm like, there's nothing in here about that.
Yeah.
I just have to ad-lib this and figure out what to say.
Yes. Or like when someone asks you, what's the date for Taco Fest?
Wait, there you go. Oh my gosh. Well, at least I didn't ask you what was the date for the gala.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's written.
I'll tell you one thing though about the gala. That's pretty cool. I don't think Leslie was there, but we recently announced our very first honoree for this year's gala is going to be 69 News in Español. Yes, respect.
Wait, what? Why didn't no one tell me this?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like
We wanted to see how happy.
Yeah, we
you
wanted to
looked.
see your reaction. We wanted to get a live reaction from you. That's
But you're
what-
just always
That's
happy.
half of the reason why we brought you here. No, I'm just kidding. No, but we're going to be honoring 69 News. Recently, 69 News in Español celebrated the 21st anniversary. They've been doing this for 2 decades.
So good.
Educating, informing, and even entertaining the community. So we're going to be honoring the Spanish newscast as a group at our gala next year. So I guess we're going to see you there.
Yeah, I've only been there for 6 months, but I feel like I'm already part of their family there. They're all very nice.
You brought the median age down.
That's it.
You're bringing in the younger demographic.
Yeah.
That's what it
It's
is.
interesting because when I was born at 6 months, I felt like I was part of my family.
Yeah.
That was a dad joke. That was not good. That was not good.
Good.
That wasn't good.
AJ was
You're,
like, yeah.
you're like going through all of them
Yeah.
today, right? Because you're not gonna come back with any dad jokes next week.
No, I will be loaded with new ones.
Oh,
They don't stop.
gosh.
Hey, question for everybody that's watching. Do you have like a motto or a quote that inspires you, encourages you during times where you need to get through rough seasons? Because as we know, when it comes to just life, right, whether it's business or family or friends, we go through really great seasons and then we go through challenging ones. Do you have something that you can lend to our listeners and to our viewers to keep them encouraged?
Yeah. One thing about me is I tend to, sometimes stress, and I feel like life is not worth stressing about, you know what I mean? And I'm also a very faith-based person, so, like God, I feel like really does help me on my daily basis, like, you know, with stress, anxiety, and all that. And, like, sometimes you just have to take a step back and be like, you know what? It's not worth stressing over this, you know?
Take a step back.
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. I feel that with a lot of business people, there is a faith element. There's like a, you know, a lot of people call it self-help.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really what's your, you know, how are you centered? You
Correct.
know, like, and for a lot of people, that's meditation. For a lot of people, that's faith. For
Yeah.
a lot of people, that's it takes on different forms, but it's so important to be in tune with that.
Yeah, I mean the foundation of it, regardless, is hope.
Yeah.
Right. You can't start something without having some sense of hope of success, and through different seasons, you're going to have to make sure that you can rejuvenate that hope. And what's interesting about VentureX, and I, you know, they wouldn't mind me telling the story, Mr. Terry Wallace, but they started this space. They started the renovation right when COVID started.
Wow.
So, you know, he was getting
Talk about
ready.
a gamble.
Yeah, he was getting, everything was already in the works. It looked like it was going to be forward facing, and signed the lease to this building. Everything was very optimistic. And as soon as the contract was signed, as soon as the contractors were signed, as soon as he was invested a lot of equity, COVID happened and everything shut down, and it started eating towards his lease. So, you know, you want to talk about having hope and surviving and having a community come around. I believe we're sitting in a room that is the epitome of it.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
that is so cool. Yeah, I mean, being hopeful, being positive, being optimistic, such an important key to being successful, not just in business,
Yes,
but in life.
in life.
Yeah. Shout out to my dad. He's the one who always tells me that. When he sees me stressed, he's like, Leslie, it's not worth it.
Yes.
It's not
But
worth
does he say it in English or Spanish? Does he say like mija?
Yeah,
Say
mija,
Say it how he would say
Yeah,
it.
how he would say it.
Mija, cálmate, por favor. Dios tiene todo en control.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah.
With that voice?
Well, you know, a man voice.
Go ahead. Try to do his voice. Let's hear it.
Oh, wait. Leave Leslie alone. We want her to come back.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
we want her to come back.
I'm sorry.
Leslie, thanks so much for coming and
of
sharing with us
course.
this morning. Well, tell people, I mean, you got an Instagram, right? If people want to follow you, like your news stories and stuff like that, where can people find you?
Yeah, I just made a news Instagram. It's called News with Leslie. That's the @ and then my personal is I.Leslie.
All right, so after this broadcast, we expect your subscribers to jump up to like 1.2 thousand just based off of this podcast.
Yeah, 1.2 thousand people.
Yeah.
Not just
Not bots.
yeah, like 1.2 thousand people are gonna follow you.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
We're
famous.
calling it out. Joe, tell people where they can find you, man.
Yeah, on social media, you can find me at the Joe Joe Berrios Berrios at the Joe Berrios.
And talk about faith and hope. You know, Joe puts together these great events every month in the Valley. So
Yes.
if you want to get connected, hit him up on IG.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely go.
Yeah.
Great. I
Well,
went to one.
Guys, thanks so much for stopping by on this Saturday morning to get people started, you know, with our very first Somos Lehigh Valley in English. You know, I feel like I could do this, man. We could do this in English.
Yes.
We could you know, do a whole season of this.
Hey, if you're watching right now and you've made it this far, congrats. You are awesome. In the comments right now, I made it.
I made it.
I made it.
Yes.
That's
yes,
it.
I made it. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for being a part of this episode. We'll see you on the next one. Somos Lehigh Valley. Be good to each other. Peace, love, and... No, I said that wrong. Love, peace, and...
Chicken grease. That's it.